It just occurred to me, I don't want to make this like totally negative, but we've been talking about why these people shouldn't stay in the cities, certainly after the coming 5-year period. And I think people need to know, most of the people, realistically speaking, and you can disagree with me if you want to, is that most people in the next 5 years are not going to be leaving the cities. The economic chains are too tight. Their jobs are all there, and most of them can't leave even if they understand. But if there are people without financial means to do anything, is there anything they can do to improve their chances of survival and being able to get through it if they can't leave the city? What do you think?
Well, yes, there are. But you cannot say if they cannot leave the city. They have to leave the city. It will be a Mad Max scenario of chaos. You have to leave the city someday. So even if you don't have the means, everybody's got a car. Almost everybody's got a car.
Okay.
I mean, everybody can scrimp and save to have enough extra gasoline stored, even in your garage, even though the fire department says, no, you can't do that. But you can store small quantities, enough to fill your tank and get your trunk full to get out of town if you live on the periphery of the metro area. In other words, if you can't leave the city from the job, at least you can move to the periphery so that you're not blocked by miles and miles of high-density urban areas. So in Los Angeles, you've got to get to the edge of the Los Angeles Basin and commute into work. Even if it's a little more money to commute in time, you don't want to be stuck in the middle if it happens. And when you see, and if people subscribe to my World Affairs Brief, I'm going to try to give people as much advance warning when I see this war coming as possible.
Right.
If it's imminent and you see a lot of, there's always, signs that war is going to happen, even though this is going to be a surprise attack, there'll be a lot of things leading up and threats and counter threats and warnings to the United States about what they're doing.
And maybe the mass movement of people on the inside as well.
Enough for you to call in sick and stay home, when you get close to that, so that you don't go into the middle of the city to work. Even though I suspect that a lot of this attack will occur at nighttime for the maximum impact. Hopefully people will still be at home. But even if you're an apartment dweller and you don't have anything but a car and a few things, you've got enough money to scrimp and save and have a bug out bag, extra food, and you put in the car, extra fuel, and be able to leave the city. Even if it starts to happen, even if the first nukes go off, it takes half an hour, 2 hours, depending which way the wind blows, for those effects to get to you if you're at the periphery of one of these areas. And you can jump in your car and get out before the freeways become clogged. Mm-hmm. And you also need, my book, Strategic Relocation, has a small section on how to get out of a city if you've got a freeway beltway around the city. You may be at the periphery, but there's a beltway around it. You can't get through that beltway except in a few places. In other words, most exits or most roads going under a freeway or over a freeway are at an entrance or an exit to the freeway as part of that exchange. There are a few places in every single freeway where you can go under the freeway or over the freeway where there's no entrance or exit to the freeway. That's what you want to target. You want to be able to get off on the side roads and get through it's like a moat around you want to get through that into the freedom beyond that. But if you try to go in one of those entrance or exit areas, you're never going to get through. It's going to be a gridlock.
If you're in that situation, you might also want to have some place to actually go instead of blindly just driving out into the country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that means having some arrangement with a friend or family who lives out in the rural areas. Everybody's got somebody I won't say everybody. If you have nobody, absolutely, still go. Get out in the rural area, live out of your car, but go. Don't stay in a Mad Max scenario, and take as much food and water as you can pack into that car, but go and stay out there. If it's a nuclear fallout situation, find a culvert that goes under a road and crawl into that culvert, and you're going to, not have very much radiation get down on you. You're going to survive. So there's lots of rudimentary things. obviously, I'm hoping that people have a little bit of money they can do more than rudimentary, which is what I cover in my books, the secure home, etc. But and strategic relocation. But people need to think these things are coming, and I need to make a strong warning. If you listen to what I'm saying and you do nothing, then you're to blame if you're caught in this scenario.
Yeah.
And it won't do you any good to say, yeah, he warned us, I should have listened. That's not good enough.
Yeah.
You want to be able to say, you want to be one of those persons who writes me an email afterwards or a letter or something that says, thank God you warned us because I got out in time.
Right, right. So this is not just one of those rhetorical question situation. What you're saying basically is, look, you guys, this is really important. You need to pay attention.
It's inevitable. This is not if this war comes, it's only a matter of when.
Right. You mentioned that even if you were in charge of everything right now and you were the president and people actually did what you thought they should do, you couldn't necessarily change what's going to happen, right?
Right. I don't think, because you can't control Russia and China. They're a separate, independent, conspiratorial power, and they're going to attack the West someday.
Right, right. Yeah, not what we've been told. But with this, like what you were saying in the show last time about world peace through merging Russia with the U.S., we've heard that a lot.
Right.
Okay, well, it's getting more exciting as we go along, so thank you for staying with it, and I really look forward to the next episode, and have a good week, and we'll see you next time.
Great. Thanks a lot, Richard.
Okay.
Thanks, Doug.